Do you kids like to use the worldwide interweb?
The internet?
We do. We know what it is.
Well, there was an item published on the
Internet.
Marketing Tech Blog.
What you got going over there this week, Doug? Well, we got some exciting stuff. So if you visit the Marketing Tech Blog today, or actually yesterday we put it in, you'll see we've got some new cool floating menus. So if you take any of the items, analytics, social media, search, whatever, and just mouse over them, you're going to see the latest posts in each of those categories, which is kind of cool. For all you geeks out there, that was some cool
mega menu.
Ajax and WordPress fun. One of the areas of the site that you should pay attention to is events. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. There's a content marketing summit online. This is an online virtual conference coming up. There's a $300 off for that. For Marketing Tech Blog readers. So click that. And then in April, Social Media Marketing World is happening, and we have a save $450 on that. And that's an actual physical conference out in San Diego. So we'll be going to it. DK New Media will be out there. And then what else? We've got a Walker B2B Customer Experience Summit is happening in San Diego. So check that event calendar. There's really high-end events there. And then as for articles, we've got a few that are kind of key this week. One of them is one of our clients, and they're a sponsor of the blog, Tinderbox. They have the really cool automated sales proposal system. Basically, you can create your sales proposal, collaborate with it online, do redlining, all of that stuff without ever opening up a Word doc, which is always nice, isn't it?
It is nice.
And then there's some reporting hanging off of the end of it, too. They have Salesforce integration and all that good stuff. But they have a best practices for writing a sales proposal white paper.
Yep, saw that.
So great white paper. You were talking about intent before. That's what a lot of this deals with is as you're writing a sales proposal, do you do the same boring RFP style, or what are the different types of sales proposals, and what strategies can you use when you're writing them? So that's a cool one. And then you're going to see a post on Kapost. A post on Kapost.
A post on Kapost.
There's a new tool, and then it's a family of tools or a new platform kind of hitting the market. We were talking a lot about when we were doing predictions about automation and everything.
That's right.
So Kapost, Kapost, has a really interesting system where they have workflows. And that's basically, Aaron, if you want to write a post and you want John to add a graphic to it, and you want Marty to edit it for grammar, and you want, Doug to, God forbid, approve it, that basically you can create a nice workflow for that. And then let's say Jen says, hey, before you send that out, make sure I see it because I've got to make sure that it passes legal or whatever.
Right.
Well, you can literally right-click, add Jen to the workflow dynamically, and the system does everything. Emails everybody and then keeps track of it. There's some reporting over it that shows you where your projects are in the stages.
Do you see it taking over Basecamp or being used in...
I think so. I think from a content marketing standpoint, it's becoming that we're getting production line with this stuff now.
Right.
And it's very hard to keep track of if you're even a small company and you've got 10 blog posts going out this week and a white paper and maybe a webinar and a video. That's a lot on your plate,
right?
For a few people to be tracking and managing. So, and then the cool thing that these guys did, this is the cool part of it, is one, they integrated it with Eloqua and Marketo, so you can have some automation on the back end that if someone was reading this article and they signed up, now all of a sudden they might get a drip campaign that sends them an email every 2 weeks that prods them with intentful language specific to what they were reading, on how to move forward. And then they wrap the whole thing with some analytics too.
Nice.
So the analytics can show you. I really like it. And Marty might want to comment on this. It breaks it down by both persona. So what type of person are you writing to?
Oh, wow.
And so you categorize every piece of work by what type of person. And then you categorize everything by where they are in the sales flow. So are these people researching, or are these people ready to buy? Who are you writing to?
Easy to navigate?
absolutely simple to navigate, almost like an email inbox. It's really laid out very, very well. In fact, if you go to the site kapost.com, you can actually click on a live demo and open it up and add things yourself and everything else.
Wow.
Now, from an affordability standpoint, it's probably out of reach for the small business, but for the small agency, it might actually be of an advantage. If you're a medium-sized agency, then it's definitely.
Awesome.
And so, it might be something that we might even look at.
Yeah, you're talking about user flows, and that really goes towards how you're supposed to design a website.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, same thing along the lines of content intent or customer intent. You need to match where people, why people are searching for different types of content, and with a content workflow management program, you can start actually seeing where people gravitate
That's
to
exactly
on your website.
it.
That's
and
awesome.
that's what it's for. They do a cool thing. They actually start with an idea instead of a piece of content.
That's
so
neat. Yeah, that's really
you
neat.
can take and read the reports. You can look at a color coded layout of your calendar and see red is all about people that are ready to buy, and yellow is all about this.
That's
and you
awesome.
can see if you have a balance in there.
Yeah.
And then the one of the nice things is, based on the reporting, you can produce more ideas. So
Yeah.
that's the nice thing is the reporting.
You're basically it's a supply and demand.
It-
You're matching what your consumers are looking for.
That's
Wow.
exactly
I'm
it.
sorry.
And that's one of the Doug mentioned persona-based marketing, and that's one of the sort of the gray areas at times for us, marketeers, is the whole notion that we identify personas, we create content for these people based upon these nice, pretty little slots we put them in, but we quite often don't really understand who is consuming what, when, and why.
Right.
So this brings us much closer to actually understanding how people are actually consuming content, in spite of your best notions.
Right.
Yeah, and it's typically different, right?
Absolutely.
We design and we say this is the way people are going to act. They don't act that way. They don't go that way.
It's Murphy's Law. I mean, you can try your best, but you have to have the empirical evidence of where they're really wanting to coalesce.
And also, we're living in a time when social collaboration is all the rage now, which it should be. But a lot of companies that are diving into social collaboration are finding that they think they'll be able to accomplish these same types of things with just social collaboration tools, and that isn't necessarily the case. So that's the exciting thing about Kapost. And then when you tag on the analytics, I mean, that's just
Bee's knees.
absolutely.
But I mean, the message out there to everybody is, agencies are going to start utilizing these systems to manage things a little bit easier. So contact your agency and see what they use. Like we use Basecamp right now, but we're seriously looking at this as, holy smokes, this could transform. You could actually do video production through Kapost as well. So there's a real opportunity there for us to make it easier on clients too. That they're not. We don't have this huge one big confusing repository. Now we have this streamlined process.
Yeah, it's
flow.
probably a communication tool to see where things are in the progress as well.
Yeah, and I think that's where people are going with this stuff. Is we understand, the businesses understand that we have all these mediums that we have to reach. We have time constraints. We have minimal marketing resources. We have to utilize technology to help alleviate some of that. And so these things are coming down in price significantly. They're increasing in their ease of use, the complexity of the situation, their integration. I think it's going to be a great year. 2013, I think, is going to be a breakout year for tools.
I think so. Thanks to Doug from Marketing Tech Blog, always bringing a unique perspective on today's endless internet landscape. I mean, man, you bring us up to date regularly and help us focus on your latest trends. Doug, can you tell people how to actually check you out and what you do and how to follow you?
Yeah, sure. So MKTG Tech Blog is Twitter, of course. On Facebook and Google+, you can just search for Marketing Technology Blog. It's at marketingtechblog.com is the core site. And then download it on iPhone. Android coming soon. Download it on iPhone right now. The app is really cool.
Awesome.
You can listen to our podcast right here and watch our videos from the show right on the iPhone app too.
I can watch you do the robot.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to run with that. You realize that. Thanks so much for listening to Edge of the Web.